Hey everyone, welcome to Live Chat Tuesday number 262 with my guest co-host, Mary of Blessed2Crochet.
Hi everybody.
If you do not know her, I did remember to put her link in the description box, so you can click the drop down menu and find her link there and go check her out. And let me get rid of this ad so I can see my chat. Welcome to the replay watchers. If you are watching the replay, please leave us a comment in the comment section and hit the like button. And if you are here with us currently live, please leave us a comment in the chat. Let us know you're here before going into lurking mode and hit the like button as well. So let's see who we have in the chat so far. We have Angela Wright, who is doing fine, drinking water, still working on her triangles for a blanket. And she's got 34 more to make. Goodness. We have Crafty T333, Terry, and Patricia, Yarny Cat Crochet. And my chat did something weird. It turned black. We have Jennifer Redgate. Welcome in, everybody. Annyeonghaseyo. That is hello in Korean.
That's very impressive.
August 8th, it will be 3-month mark for me.
Well, I can only say, I can say what I used to say when I walked into my grandparents' house, because I'm part Greek. And I used to walk in and say, hi, hello, Papu, Tikanis. And Tikanis is how are you? So I can do that for Greek-wise.
Cool. So, how is everybody doing today? What have y'all been up to? Trisha's got her coffee. So do I. I'm working on my 3rd cup now.
I had my big glass this morning. It takes my body. I deal with fibromyalgia on a daily basis. So it sometimes takes my body a little while to warm up. So I usually sit and crochet and watch television and let my body kind of slowly warm up if I can. It doesn't always happen, but I certainly give it a try.
Me and my grandmother both have fibromyalgia, so I definitely know.
Yes. Wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Not fun. You press through.
Patricia says, every time you say, if you're in the replay, say hello. For a second time, I'm like, am I in the replay? No, you're here with us currently live. Chuck, one of my friends, Holistic Patriots, I think he actually changed his name. He would say, watching the replay currently live is what he used to say.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So far we haven't, it looked like it was going to rain, but I enjoy sitting here, and I'm going to look forward in the winter when it starts snowing to be able to have the snow in the background. I cannot wait for snow. I like cold weather. Get rid of the hot.
Yeah. I really dislike the Texas heat. I'm in Texas. It's humid and hot. And there was one day, I think last week or the week before, our real temperature was 102, but it felt like 119. It was awful.
We had a recent heat wave, and then it just got it cooled off. So in Ohio, we never know what the weather's going to be like. Cold, you're going to need a jacket, or you're going to need shorts. We have no idea. And when you're a fibromyalgia patient, just throw it all out of the window because you never know if it's be hot or cold.
Patricia says, I need a winter at wintertime.
My husband is always running hot. I mean, he can go out in like 30-degree weather in shorts. And I'm like, no, I can't do that yet. But
no.
I found out as a fibromyalgia patient, if it is snowing or cold outside, if I actually let myself go out for about 20 minutes and just, you know, walk around, I'll come back in, and maybe for an hour it'll take the pain off a little bit because it's
Yeah.
kind of making your body cold. And all the doctors said, you're in the wrong temperature. You need to go to Arizona. And I'm like, well, I guess I wouldn't be going without my husband because he wouldn't stand the heat.
Yeah.
He
Patricia
lives in
says,
Florida now, so.
I have RA, but some of the things are the same. I think my grandfather had rheumatoid arthritis.
I just keep going. My grandfather had multiple sclerosis. He was my papu. And oftentimes when I'm like, oh, I don't think I can get up today, I think, papu, you had to get up with the aid of a lift. If you could get up and smile and put a smile on your face, so can I. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But we just keep going. And
Yeah.
we take breaks. And I think, you know, part of what I try to tell our community is, if you have somebody in your life that has fibromyalgia, you may not understand when they say, I have to go lay down and have a rest. You don't have to understand that. It's their body. And if they're having to go lay down for an hour, it's because they need it. And you just have to lovingly understand. Whether you understand or not, doesn't matter. They need that. They're not being lazy. I don't know if you've ever heard, heard of the spoon theory?
I might have.
Okay. Well, the spoon theory means that when you're somebody that deals with chronic illness, and I'm going to use my tools I got here for an example, that you may have 20 spoons for the day, and that's all you have. Everybody has the same amount of spoons, but for you to get up and have a shower and get dressed, it may have been a 3-spoon kind of time. Yeah. And then, you know what? Well, maybe that day it's 4 spoons to make yourself lunch and get something together. And then dinner, you're done with, maybe it's taken you 4 or 5 spoons. By the time you're done and it's ready for bed, you're out of your spoons.
Yeah.
And
just
a lot of
completely
people
wipes you out.
Yep, it does. Because it's nonstop. It just happens all the time. That's why we crochet, so we can keep our sanity.
I do actually understand that now, because my grandmother, she deals with fibromyalgia worse than me. I have it a little bit in my shoulders and in between my shoulder blades. I can feel it really bad right there. But I also have scoliosis. I have spina bifida. I have osteoarthritis in my lower back. I probably have osteoarthritis other places too. So all of that rolled into one, I definitely know, like, if you've overdone it, you have to go and rest, because otherwise you can't make it through another hour or two. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Kendra. I appreciate that.
See, I didn't jump.
Everybody loves that one, the screaming goat. How are you doing, Kendra? And welcome in. Patricia says, it would be easier to list all the things you don't have at this point. Yeah, true. Very, very true.
As you get older, it only increases.
Yep. I just hit 40 in June, and sometimes my body is just like, with all the things that I do have, it feels older than what I actually am. But I have had a rough life physically. So since I was probably, well, I had 2 scoliosis surgeries. My first one was at 11 years old, and it was 8.5 hours long. So they had to take out 4 discs, deflate my right lung to get to the front. And then they fused part of the spine, took a piece off my left hip to fuse to my spine. So I had a double curvature like that. When you looked at my actual back, it went like an S. And then when you look at it from the side, it also went like the normal S, like it goes in and out. So mine was more like a spiral. It was a rough time.
It sounds like it.
Like healing after that for the whole. I was in 5th grade when it happened in '97, and I was out almost the whole year trying to heal up. The cool thing was my 2 teachers that I did have for the classes actually came out once a week. Both would come out once a week and teach me, so on their off time. So that was amazing.
We had a relative, and of course this is way back, in the probably 1940s, something like that. And before we had computers and all that kind of stuff. And she had scoliosis, and they went ahead and did the surgery, and she was in a full body cast, of course. And they brought her, in, and the nurse went home. Well, she forgot to write down on the piece of paper that she had given her some kind of shot. And so the next nurse came in and saw she hadn't had her shot yet. So they gave her a shot, and she went into a seizure. So they had to rip the cast off and the surgery, and she was forever, curved, and certainly she wasn't, she was a little mentally, damaged from that. They didn't sue the hospital. They should have, because it was negligence. But she was a little one, but she was a spitfire.
Wow.
But I'll remember that. She was a neat lady. We used to sit down and do word searches. She loved word searches, and I don't know how she did it, but she ate a bunch of candy, and she never gained it out. So I was like, she had drawers. She'd come down and visit my grandmother, and drawers of candy and candy wrappers. She never had an issue.
Wow.
So she was a neat lady. But, the only thing that I can give people advice on is if you do deal with a chronic illness or any chronic pain, find something with your hands to do to get busy. I have the crochet that I do, and then I found a new art form, which is called Kinasaga. It's Japanese, so it's different, but it's older. I'm older than it. It was found in the 1980s. And so we've been doing a lot of that on our channel lately. This is one of the patterns that I did. We're creating patterns, and
that is so cute.
Yes. So my mother said, Mary, you now have a summer goose. You need to do a winter goose, a fall goose, and a spring goose. I'm still outlining this one.
Yeah.
And I'm working on this one on Facebook. So we're creating patterns. And the other one's over there. I'm working on this one for a late Mother's Day present for my mom. It's teapots. Cool. And then my daughter has absolutely fallen in love with this art. And so this is one that she did.
So
I thought I wasn't supposed to work with fabric. I was supposed to work with yarn, but that's not the case. This is one I'm very proud of, framed and everything.
Oh, that is neat. That is really, really neat.
And you don't use styrofoam. You actually use insulated board, and which is the stuff you get at trying to think, like at Home Depot. The Pink Panther board is what you're using to stuff your fabric in.
Cool.
I did this one in honor of you. I just don't know what to name it.
Oh, okay. A kitty cat.
A kitty cat with a yarn ball.
Aw. I'm on a phone streaming, so I mean it's like little bitty, but I can see it better on my computer. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Aw. I can't wait to see when you get it done.
Yes. I just don't know what to name it yet. I'm busy doing that, and then somebody called me up yesterday and wanted an order our soap caddies, which are in our merch store. So between that and this, I'm awful busy.
Yeah.
I'm keeping busy.
Hi, KimG. Welcome in. Patricia says, I did see your comment about your husband and when his lung collapsed. That must have been really tough when he had walking pneumonia. She crochets and I think she knits a little bit too. And she said, I love that. I'm not sure which one she's referring to. And her son actually is in Japan right now. He lives there.
Awesome.
And she's learning Japanese. So we have kind of a common interest. She's learning Japanese. I'm learning Korean. So, I mean, they're very similar, but still slightly different. And she says, is it fiberglass?
It's called I'm going to say it wrong. Polystyrene or styrene. Polystyrene. So it's you can get 2 feet by 2 feet by 1 inch at Menards, but we got 8 feet by 4 feet panels. You should have seen me coming home like this with it, because I just gave 7 boards to Christina to work on, which is my daughter. I've got boards, I've got patterns. There's a place down in the Amish country that has our soap caddies. It's also a fabric store. So we're hoping to put patterns and eventually be in a position to do kits and maybe do finished pictures down there. What I really want to do with this, because I'm personally finding it such a blessing. My daughter and I kind of have found this really special relationship with each other through this. We call ourselves the Kinasaga Chicks. And so I'm hoping to be able to put kits together because we live, kind of about an hour away from the Amish, and we're kind of more in the country part of it, to be able to go to different fabric stores, not necessarily Hobby Lobby, and gather the fabric and then be able to put a kit together of something that somebody could do at home. And then it comes from that specific store, either downtown in, Berlin, which is in the heart of Amish country, or, out in rural where you got corn and fields and barns and, be able to do something like that. Because I'm finding it's so satisfying and it's so relaxing. I just am loving it. Lowe's has a different brand. Hobby Lobby has, or not Hobby Lobby, Home Depot has the Pink Panther brand. They will not cut it. You have to bring a box cutter to cut it. Well, they will not cut it at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Wow.
But you can't use styrofoam. Styrofoam's too squishy.
Yeah.
You gotta use this.
Welcome in, Karen JSP. You are fine. Don't worry about being late.
Then we can talk and I can still see comments and I can still see everything. If people want to see how it's done.
Patricia says that's really cool.
And you use a seam ripper of all things. If you would have told me I'd be working with fabric, I would have laughed. And I'm not one that likes sewing. I don't like anything to do with sewing. So if you don't like sewing, this is no sewing required, which I love. But you use the 3M paper, which after you cut your foam piece out, and we use a hot knife to be able to do it. And then once you cut it out, you put your 3M paper on it, and then you just cut the fabric, and you can use fabric scraps. Go on the book face, and you can find people within your community that maybe have a fabric stash that will donate fabric. That's what happened when we first started, and just go to town. And it's so much fun.
I sew a little bit, but I'm not, I made little bags a couple of years ago, and I've hemmed pants and, but never actually. My grandmother is she was employed by this company. She is a seamstress. She knows how to make clothes and, everything. She quilts and she loves it. I'm not that good. I can barely
Yeah, I
make a
don't like
bag
sewing.
and hem pants. So
It's not my jam.
yeah.
And even though you have to do it with crochet, it's my least favorite part of doing crochet. I love doing like the soap caddies we do. I love using the bobble stitch. I love making bobble stitch blankets. But I was like, oh, I found this at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I couldn't sleep, and I'm like, I got to find out what this is all about. And then I just started doing it, and I'm like, I'm loving it. So we do a lot on our channel of just having people come in and connect with each other and find awesome people and have those connections, because I raised a child with autism, and I spent a lot of time really kind of by myself and not having anybody to talk to. And so I want to make sure that people feel like they have a place that they can come and just chit chat. And I've had several people say, I may never pick it up, but it's so relaxing to watch things come to life. So I'm just glad to create.
Karen JSP, she says, came in late. What are you using this for? Would you mind explaining once more what you're doing?
Well, I'm taking, this is polystyrene, and I'm going to say it right, hopefully. This is called King of Saga, and this is polystyrene board. And what you're doing is you're creating an image, and I'm still working on this. I still have to outline it, where you're making a picture. So one of the first things you're going to do is cut out your size, which is, this one is an 8x8. Then you're going to put your 3M. They have them in sheets. We have on our link tree, we have all the supplies we're using. And you put that on top of that, keeping the one side you don't want to peel off this all at once. You want to slowly peel it off, or you're really going to get sticky. And then you put your picture on top of that using, this is what I use, it's a craft knife, and you're cutting all of the images, all the lines out. You tape this on here so you get to this, and then you're just picking out fabric, scrap fabric, and tucking it in and creating a picture. And it's great for especially for people that make quilts and have leftover scrap fabric that they have no idea what to do with. But it is, and you're using a seam ripper. Sometimes I'll use these kind of tools. Sometimes I need to use a little glue if I think I've gotten it cut the fabric too close. But it is, I'll put it in the chat so people, because it doesn't look how it sounds is not anything how the spelling looks.
Yeah.
But they used to use this in Japan as a way. They used to use wood planks as a way of preserving the kimonos. They had all these beautiful silk kimonos, and they were trying to preserve them. And this, I forgot what her name was. She came up with this method of taking it and tucking the fabric into silk, into wood, and being able to make beautiful pictures out of it. But now, instead of having to do wood, which I cannot imagine having to use wood, people are using the foam board. Not styrofoam, it's not something you pick up at your local craft store. And you're just tucking fabric and cutting, and you're making a picture. And there's no sewing, which is one of my things I love about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a sewer.
Patricia says it's like a puzzle, sort of, kinda, a little bit. And Karen says, I think I have seen similar kits called Quick Quilting, a no-sew thing. And even Yarny Cat Crochet Patricia just put the spelling in Korean. I mean, in Japanese in the chat.
Oh,
that's
wow.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much fun, and I've got some shirts that I'm working on to design for this, because I've been on a live and I said I'm only going to be here for 2 hours, and the next thing I know, 4 hours later, and I'm like, just one more piece of fabric, one more piece of fabric, I promise. And then what happens is, yeah, I'm sore when I get up because of the pain, but while I'm doing this, I'm not sore. My mind is on what color am I going to pick. The hardest part about it is what fabric to choose.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm having so much fun. My daughter's having so much fun. When I go to church, I have to bring my fabric stash so she can go through it, choose the fabric she needs. And so it's been such a blessing, and unexpectedly, because I found it when I couldn't sleep, and I went through Facebook Reels, and I'm like, that looks interesting. I wonder what it's about. And I'm like, I got to try this. And we've just been a blessing. And my husband's doing all the cutting, because all the board cuts he does.
Well, that's good.
We'd like to. We're doing frames out of paint sticks, but we'd like to do a little bit better on the frames. But that's for him to do. I just create it and say, here you go, figure it out. It's so much fun. And a lot of people haven't heard about it. It's not something that is something that a lot of people have heard. They're going, what? What is that?
Yeah.
And they find it very fascinating to do. And I'm glad I can show them, because I'm finding it fascinating. I think this would be totally fun to do a really simple one and do it for a bunch of girls. It had to be teenagers, but have them come over for a birthday party or a slumber party and do this. I think it would be an absolute ball.
Yeah.
So I'll show your community what it's all about. And I had to pick a cat. I'm allergic to cats, so I can't get anywhere near a cat. But this is about the closest I can get near a cat.
Well, yeah, my grandmother's allergic to cats, and the cat that I do have is outside, strictly outside. So
we have a Mocha. Mocha's our Staffy, which is actually my daughter's dog, but I'm caring for this dog. But I became a grandmother recently, so it was a blessing.
congratulations.
Yes. I'm ready to just have fun. Parenting my daughter wasn't easy. I'm ready to just let's just have fun.
Yeah.
I saw your project recently you did in your video. It is beautiful.
Well,
That
thank
blanket
you.
You were showing off.
Yeah. I haven't got too much more progress done on it. I got one theme since I filmed that done. But it's to the point now, it's so big that it's taking forever to get around. So boy, at least it feels like it takes forever.
Well, of course, because it gets bigger and bigger. They're great when they start out, and then it's like, wait a minute, they're big, and then they become uncontrollable.
And somehow, I don't know how, even though I thought I was turning it, I did 2 rows the wrong direction. So I think I had turned it, but I don't think I actually turned it completely. So because I'm chaining up and turning the whole thing. So I think I had thought I had turned it and I didn't. And so I went around in the same direction, and I'm like, oh man. I noticed that like 2 rows back, I'm like, okay, so if that one would have been the front and then back, I counted, and I was like, okay, well, the one I'm on, the next one should be right, you know. So I just kind of went with it.
Well, you know, as we're going to progress with this and so forth, and they've even told the people that are getting the soap caddies, you know, every soap caddy I do, even though it's the same pattern, they're all a little different.
Yeah.
And you know, if we start doing kits with this and have everything pre-cut and send people off and so forth, I'm going to put a disclaimer in there. Don't expect perfection.
Yeah.
I can't cut this to be perfect unless it's on a machine, which I cannot afford. So please don't try to make it perfect. Just be creative. Do it, you know, be yourself, be creative. Don't try to be. I used to work in an auto dealership, and people would come in and their car wasn't right. You know, they had gotten a new car and it wasn't right, and you know, they were expecting everything to be perfect, and it didn't happen too often, but every once in a while something would happen. I just would say to somebody as they're kind of upset, I just got a new car and there shouldn't be a problem. I said, remember, the the machines that put your car together were made by humans.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't expect perfection. They're going to get it right and they're going to get it fixed and everything's going to be okay. And the problem's going to be rectified. And it was like, it took a minute to go, oh yeah, right. They were made by human hands. Mm-hmm. And I'm a perfectionist both in this and my crochet. And I have to remember myself, it can't be perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to be as nice as you can make it, but it's never going to be perfect because then it takes away the handmade element of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
You want it to look non-perfect. I think there was a relative of my mother's or a friend. My grandmother used to say she used to have go into the, you know, do a cross stitch, and she said she always left a mistake she knew about just to be able to say it wasn't perfect because human hands made it. So it'll give it a unique spin. I'm looking forward to seeing your finished project on the blanket.
I think I have the one skein of yarn that I'm on plus 3 more. So hopefully,
You're finishing the whole skeins?
Yes, yes. I'm not really like color controlling it or anything. Now, if it ends like where it's at the end of the row, and say there's only a tiny bit, then I just keep going with it, connect the new ball to it and just keep going.
Almost like one of those chaos blankets.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
I don't think I could do it.
There's no rhyme or reason to the color except for alternating and making the color scheme kind of match. But they're all just kind of, the colors don't really go together. But it works perfect for granny squares. So
I've seen those chaos blankets. I'm like, where people roll the dice and then they choose which pattern or which stitch they're going to do and what color they're going to do and how many rows they are going to do. And I'm like, I don't think I can do that. I have found myself to be one of those crocheters that I don't care how straight I think I'm going to make the pattern for a single stitch, and they always go this way. I don't know how it does it. I just stick with the bobble stitch. I get it pretty much straight on every time I do those.
Diana Crane is sewing in tails on a project. She goes, yay, fun. Barry, welcome in. I did type in the chat. He says, we had a tornado on our road last Tuesday. 6 confirmed tornadoes touched down in Kentucky last Tuesday. Goodness.
Prayers, for sure. If people are looking at, if they're struggling with their ends sticking where they're supposed to, this is the glue I use in my crochet. I just use a little bit, and it has done very well. We use it in our soap caddies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care how often I try to stuff tails in. They don't seem to go in, they don't stay in place. How much I try.
I had learned a trick a couple of years ago. When you sew in an end, you weave it, like say it's a double crochet, you weave it all the way down through the actual double crochet into where you crochet through the stitch, and then you go through the double crochet bottom part, and then you split part of the yarn and then go backwards. You do that 3 times, kind of like a zigzag in a way, but back over. I hope that makes sense.
It does. I have tried everything and I failed.
So
I just use that and we just go on.
See, we have Alley Cat Crochet, welcome in, and Sally Stevens, welcome in, and DeniseLee, welcome in.
If people are coming in and they need me to explain what I'm doing, I will gladly do it.
Aw, Patricia says, I'm going to have to subscribe because I can see watching this while I crochet.
It is so much fun. I'm hooked. Or seam ripper. You would think, I said to my husband, we were coming home and I said, if you had told me I'd have been working with fabric, I would have said to you, you've got to be kidding me. And it's not like you need a tremendous amount of fabric in the sense of you're using scraps. The only time I would say to get, a yard of fabric is when you're doing a solid color, but this is 1/4 yard and it's going to last me a while because you're not using a tremendous amount. Your solid colors, yeah, I would say get a 1/2 yard or something like this they have at the country fabric store close to our house, where you've got this and you've got 2 different kind of fabrics together, because this way you've got 2 for the price of 1. And if you're somebody who goes, I don't do colors, I still need help kind of deciding what colors go well. If you would need a dark and a light, you got it in one piece.
Yeah.
So I would get something like this in 1/2 yard or a yard. But a lot of the print colors I've just gotten in 1/4 because I'd rather have more print variety than and more in yardage of solid than the other way around.
Yeah.
Welcome in, everybody.
Barry says, be right back. Cat wants out on the porch. Patricia says, my son calls it a monster blanket. I love them. let the cat out. Thank you so much, DeniseLee. And thank you for the gifted membership.
I love it.
My chat just jumped. Let's see. Susan Party on with Yarn and Crochet got gifted the membership. Congratulations.
And we're looking forward to get back to monetization. We're only about 1150 away from getting back to where we were before. They said, oh, you left the partner program. When you didn't leave the partner program, we can't research this because it was done voluntarily.
It's just so strange.
It was very strange how it happened because I'm thinking, we worked really hard, and when we first started our YouTube channel, I did it because I just wanted a connection, which was very therapeutic for me. And I said to my mother, who's on a fixed income, and she's and I'm disabled, and she's a widow of a veteran, and I said, Mom, if we get monetized, you can just get the revenue for it. So when we got monetized, I'm like, I worked really hard to make that happen. And then they just said, oh, you voluntarily left the program. And I'm like, I did. I didn't hit any button that said, yes, I confirm that I'm leaving. So since April, we've been trying to get back to where we were before it all kind of did what it did. And all I'm doing is, if I feel like I have taken the fabric and I've cut it to the edge, or just take a little bit of tacky quick drying glue, and I just take care of I just put a little bit on, and if I get a little bit on the fabric, I just take a little bit of water after it dries, and it takes care of it. I think I'm going to fray it. I take care of it.
Yes, Demetra. Her link is in the description box at the very top.
We just do a lot of letting people come in. You don't have to crochet. You don't have to do this. We just want to have a safe place for people to come in, make those connections, find some amazing channels, you know, make those friendships. I have one lady that I found on a channel that we became friends, and she's actually over in Australia, and we're like sisters. You can find them on YouTube, believe it or not. She was a huge help to me in times of my life where things were just difficult. And so, Mess, how are you doing today? And I don't have sisters or brothers because I'm an only child. And I don't think my mother's going to have any more kids. she just turned 80. I don't think that's going to happen. So.
I also just put her link in the chat. There we go.
We're doing a lot. People know on my channel we're doing a lot of King of Saga, and I'm loving it.
She needs hours.
Yes.
Is what she's meaning, the watch hours. They're you said about 1,100 away.
I have 1150, so
1150.
That's how many hours, watch hours away that we need to get back to. And again, any of the revenue we get from, we have 2 patterns up. One was the first one we did, which was my birthday, and I did this one, so we offer this one on our merch store for free. That was the first one we did. And then we have a cross, so we charge like $2 because it takes a while to do the patterns, test the patterns, and get them up. And we're adding more. And so I have to be the tester. So I have the pattern beside me, and I make corrections, and then we put them up, and let people have the patterns and so forth. And they can use them if they want to use them on their channel. They can use them. We just ask that you please don't modify them, that you, of course, credit us with, the pattern, send people to our merch store for the pattern, and of course tag our YouTube channel. I have no problem. Let us know what's going to happen. So this pattern will go up, and when I put this pattern up, I'll make sure that I tag your channel and our merch store and say this was inspired by. I just have to come up with a name. So maybe the chat will have a name for.
You can name it after my kitty if you want. Her name is Canela, Canela.
DANELA. Is that right?
Like can, CAN, Ella, ELA.
Okay. But it's with a D, right?
It's Spanish for cinnamon. I got her from my neighbor who named her. So, Canela.
So does it start with a C or a D?
A C. C as in cat. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. I have dyslexia, and so sometimes things don't compute in my head.
I do that with numbers myself, so I understand. It's okay.
Well, when I was growing up, they just said I had a learning disability, and I found out recently that I was like, let me just do a test and see, because they didn't call me out for having dyslexia, and I was like, You're a high chance of having it. I'm like, and then I read all the things. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. Oh, that's me too. So I just tell everybody, I may or may not say your name correctly in the chat. I certainly give it a try, but sometimes the words just don't come together.
Yeah.
And for years, I've called crayons crowns. It's just the way that my mom's like, I know what she means. And I'm like, now that I have a grandchild, I have to really think about it. Do you want to draw with your crayons? I have to stop and really think because I'm so used to the other way until it gets, I don't want him going around doing the same thing as I'm called Yaya. I don't want him to go around doing the same exact thing as Yaya is doing. And for those that don't know, Yaya is grandmother for Greek.
Oh, I think I've heard that somewhere before. Yeah. Hi, Summer. Welcome in. Barry says, my fingers are dyslexic. They never type what I want.
I love it. When I was little, my grandfather, wonderful man, he was not my biological grandfather. He passed before I got a chance to meet him, but he treated me just like his grandchild. Wonderful man. And I just kept saying to him, you know, he said to me, he'd say Papu, and I couldn't say Papu. Or I couldn't say Grandpa. And so he just finally said, say Papu. And I said Papu, just fine.
Yeah.
And I said, well, then I'm Papu. Well, my grandmother was a Scottish woman, just totally opposite of him. Just so funny. Dry sense of humor. She just said, well, in my case, because of course grandmother is Yaya in Greek, and she sat there and she goes, in my case, it's going to come out Yo-Yo. I'll be Nana. She would not be called Yaya for anything. So she was Nana. He was Papu, and my mother now is a great grandmother. And so she's called Nana, which to all of us, just even my mother said, this is taking a little time to get used to being called Nana. So my husband is now being called Papu. My dad was called Papu. So a good name. We love, up here we have the Greek festival. I love going to the Greek festival.
Demetra is, she says, Yarny Yayas.
Yeah. I wish my grandfather spoke fluent Greek. And I wish back then, of course, when I was born, it wasn't the thing to speak the Greek and speak the bilanguage. But I so wish he had. Because then I could have picked it up. Because I can say things like baklava, the way I say baklava, and spanakopita, and a lot of the Greek foods. But it wasn't the thing to be. And I can say a little bit of Greek, very little, but I wish he would have taken the time. But by the time I was ready to learn, he had forgotten a lot because his father spoke English to him. His boys spoke Greek back to the father. So the father would learn English and the boys would keep their Greek.
Oh.
And so when his brothers and sisters would come down, they'd all be around the table talking Greek and English. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Cool.
Sweetest man you'd ever meet in your life. And if anybody picks up a seam ripper, I'm not responsible. You may not be able to put it down, I'm telling you.
Pam Hunter says, I chose Grammy because it rhymes with Pammy.
My mother was Mimi. That's what my daughter is called, my mother, Mimi. And she would have just kept that. My granddaughter goes, nope, you were going to be called Nana, no matter what. So, the other grandmother has the name, so. And I'm a blessed and proud Yaya, and I'm take that with absolute pride. Because when you raise a special needs daughter, you don't always know if that, I mean, that was going to happen, because I thought, you know, she may never get married and she may never have a kid. And so I didn't know if it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So to have it happen is just a blessing beyond belief.
Patricia says, I'm happy to just watch you do it. So I guess she's really enjoying you in this craft.
That's what I'm finding out, is a lot of people are really, really just enjoying me doing it and putting it together. I had somebody say, I actually fell asleep watching you do it. I'm like, okay.
To me, that's almost bad. Now, it could be, you know, so soothing that it made them fall asleep. Or, you know, in my case, like, because I remember falling asleep every time my grandfather would watch football because I would get bored. I didn't like football.
No, they said it was just very, very relaxing. They said it was so relaxing. I just, you know, fell asleep watching it. So
she says it's like ASMR. No, it's not bad. It's soothing, she says.
It's very soothing. Except when you have a piece of stuff and it doesn't want to come out the right way. That's why the tweezers.
Very good. Sports are boring. The guy that don't actually like sports.
I'm not a big sports fan.
Me either.
The only time I really watch sports is when the Miami Dolphins are playing, and then I want to watch it. And once they start losing, I'm done.
Aw. Demetra says, Mary, I was born in Greece and I'm fluent in Greek. I'm planning a trip to Greece later this year.
Oh, wonderful. I would have loved to have been able to go. My biological grandfather, he was born in Greece, and I'm gonna forget the name of it. The little town he grew up in Greece, and no, it was my great grandfather. Then he came over to this country, and my grandmother was Scottish, and so my grandfather, who was born in this country, went and served over in the military, and he met my grandmother over in Scotland. They got married over there, and he came back over here, and then my mother was born over in Scotland, and then came over here to where we live now, in Ohio. And my mother was raised here for about 20 years, and then went eventually down to Florida, where she met my dad and lived. And when we came back eventually, I married in 2007 to what we call Mr. Blessed2Crochet. And I've pre-cut this, but sometimes I don't do it. If I'm doing it quick, it doesn't go all the way through, so I keep my knife handy. And so we married in 2007, and he had a lot of family up here in Ohio. And we didn't have, I've come from, my side of the family is very, very tiny. And so we decided, you know, let's go to Ohio, where a lot of his family is, in Indiana. And so that's what we did. And my daughter went on eHarmony and met her spouse. And that's how I met my husband, was AOL. Those that remember AOL at the time. And that's how I met him. And so she met her husband, and then he lived up in where we are now, which is, we're kind of in the middle of Cleveland and Columbus. And so then it was like, I was like, I'm going full circle. Yeah. So she's now back where she was raised. Not born, but raised. So my grandfather owned a restaurant in this town, so it's kind of funny how we've come kind of full circle. And I used to come up here when I was little and visit my namesake, my mom's godmother, and I always felt like I was coming home. I don't know what it was about it. And so If anybody knows the movie Shawshank, you all know where it is. Shawshank was filmed in this area.
That's the Stephen King one, right? About the prison?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't remember where, but I did like that movie.
We're not far from the actual prison.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if your chat knows what location it's considered. They'll take tours around. They'll take bus tours around and show you all the places where everything was filmed. They just got done having like the ink festival there, which was a tattoo festival there. Incarceration is what they call it.
Barry wants me to tell you that he was born in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce that right. Cuyahoga Falls.
Yep. I've never been there. I wanted to go. I've never been. We're in, like I said, we're not far between it. I've always wanted to go to Columbus or Cleveland to be able to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's what I want to do one of these days.
Demetra's wondering, is that prison closed now?
Nope, it's open for tours. So it's a tourist attraction now. The actual prison is closed to prisoners, but it's actually a lot of tourism that happens there. My husband and my daughter have been. I've been inside the gift shop, but I've never been inside the prison. I think you can sleep overnight if I'm not mistaken there, but it's a lot of tourism happens there now.
Yeah, I bet they have been. Who knows, Patricia? She goes, I bet ghost hunters have been there.
Oh yeah, they say there's part of it that said it's haunted.
Usually most prisons that have been in operation for a long time and then shut down, they usually are. Because of all the dark history, it seems.
Well, they were trying to make it like a new prison where it was like something, or it was supposed to be a reformed prison or whatever.
Oh, like get it back up and running, you mean?
No, but in the sense when it was supposed to be like a new, like rehabilitation prison when it was in operation.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually it closed up. Now it's just open for tours and events. I mean, from where we are, we can get to the Amish country. Like I said, our soap caddies recently are down in the Amish country. One is down in one of the fabric stores. Quilts are beautiful, so we can go down. And we've gone to church at times and had horses and buggies just be going down the road. So
that's kind of cool.
The Amish country is just gorgeous, especially in the fall. It is just stunning. And it's so funny because I was raised in Florida, so I didn't see a lot of, people that had, a lot of. Yeah, I didn't see the fall leaves because everything was green. Yeah. My husband will be too funny, oh, look at that fall leaf. He said, it's just a leaf. I said, yes, I'll never get tired of it. You can get tired of it. I will never. I love when the leaves change. Oh, it's my favorite time of year.
Barry says, I'm in Amish country. And then Patricia says, we have some Amish in Indiana and some buggy road signs. So you know to go slow.
Mm-hmm. That's where my husband and I went for our anniversary. It was down there, and we went to Yoder's restaurant down in the Amish country, down in Berlin. Food was so good. So, Der Dutchman is also another huge place. They have them in Florida. They have them up here. And see, I have to watch myself. I don't try to be too perfect. I try. I like everything to look nice and neat. Nice and tidy. Mary, you can't do that. It's not gonna happen.
I can actually see the window forming, so that's pretty cool.
It is. And sometimes I have to go in and just kind of give things a facelift. As if I get the thumb too in, that's what I call it, a little facelift. To get it to the point where I'm happy with it. But then I have to remind myself, I'm not here to make perfect.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to do when you're a perfectionist.
Barry says we have Amish, Mennonites, and Pennsylvania Dutch.
I was in the fabric store the other day, going to a new fabric store. They were talking Dutch right in the fabric store.
Wow.
We're going down the road and there's milk. There's milk farms and everything. It's interesting to see. I don't know if you've ever followed a gentleman by the name of Eli Yoder, but he's on TikTok. He has a big following. And I met him. We preached at a local church in our area.
Oh, wow.
I got to meet him. It was really cool. He's on TikTok. I have one of his books signed, and I'm going to do a giveaway soon.
I don't really do TikTok. I mean, I have an account, but I don't do it.
He's on Facebook and he's on all the platforms.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool meeting him. Christina got to meet him right before we had a huge ice storm. It's coming together. Some pieces are easier than others, but eventually it happens. It comes together. There we go. Finally. Sometimes you just have to kind of work with it a little bit, and eventually it does what you want it to do. You may not like it, but eventually it's going to do it. It's like our crochet. Do you find yourself when you crochet, you talk to your crochet? I do exactly the same thing with this.
Maybe when I'm mad at it, or if I like the yarn keeps slipping off the hook. Come on now, kind of thing.
I think we all do it. I think we all talk to our projects. And we're having a lot of construction work out by our thing. They're replacing part of the concrete. And it's not been fun waking to the noise outside of our community, but we'll deal with it. And just, I cannot believe that Fall Fest is going to be like next month. Where did the year go?
I thought it starts in September.
It starts in but we start getting, it doesn't hit till September.
Yeah.
But it starts in like late August, and I'm like, wait a minute, where did the time go?
Yeah.
It's not supposed to happen this quick.
This whole year has gone by so quick.
That's why I keep telling my daughter, don't rush. There's going to be a time when you're going to sit there going, I wish the little one could sit on my lap again. It'll go by quicker than you think.
All right, Patricia, I hope you have a good day, hon.
Bye, Patricia. Have a wonderful day. What I find when I'm doing this is you just kind of go into another world for a while, which isn't a bad thing. And if you're dealing with chronic pain, please find something that you can kind of escape into. I know it doesn't make the day easier. I know it doesn't take away the pain, but it will help. And connection really helps. It does help just to have, you know, that connection and get your mind off of it. That's what we do. I think the most successful YouTube channels are the ones that have built community. And focusing on community, which is what we try to do. And what I've seen you do too as well. It's hard because I want to be supportive of everybody.
Oh, yes.
It's not easy to do.
Margie, it is, it's kind of like that, but it's a no-soap project. It's a type of foam. And what she's doing is she drew a pattern, or not drew, but cut out little shapes on there. It makes a pattern, just like the cat that she's put up on there. And she stuffs in fabric, scraps, and it makes a picture. It's called Saga. Yeah.
I know, I'm still messing it up, I think. And what I'm actually going to do for, and I haven't decided the color of the yarn yet, but instead of trying to, because the original pattern had these lines, and I'm like, I'm never going to be able to, I mean, I can, but it'll make it difficult. So what I'm going to actually do with this is I'm going to get, I'm going to take yarn, which I have plenty of, and I'm going to actually take yarn and whatever yarn I choose, it wouldn't be this one, but I'm going to take it in between, and it'll probably be thinner than this, and actually put the yarn so it'll look a little bit 3D, have a little touch of yarn. And then the tail that went for the yarn was really thin and been very hard to do with the tucking. So I'll take an actual real piece of yarn and make the tail and tuck it like in here. So it'll have a little bit of 3D effect to it.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Like I said, if anybody picks up a seam ripper, don't come saying, what did you get me started? My daughter was hooked within one piece. She started hers and she was like, I'm hooked, Mom. And I had to come to church with 7 different projects for her to do. And we call ourselves the Kinasaga Chicks. I'm just glad because she's never been, she has a YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 500, even though she doesn't have the watch hours. But if she ever wanted to go that route, she'd have the numbers.
Yeah.
But it's called Chrissy's Cosplay Wardrobe. And she does YouTube and she does cosplay. So she's doing a lot of like, she did something with, I can't remember what it was, Earthbender or something. That's with like Once Upon a Time. She wants to do like Scooby-Doo and different kind of things. And so she's been that, but she's never been one that when try to teach her how to cross stitch. That didn't last for long. Try to teach her how to crochet. She didn't like that. So she's just having a ball with this Kina Saga, and we're creating together and coming up with ideas and plans. And it's just wonderful. So I'm like, I always wanted to sit down with a table and do something crafty, but this was not my kid. So I'm very found something that she connects with. So you can see this is part of the kitty's ear.
Oh, yeah.
I have a little trash can because I don't want to pick up every little piece I pick up. The hardest part is choosing the fabric. What to do and what to choose. And I thought I took it out. Why not? Put it back in. And I won't, there's no way. I mean, it'll take me a little bit to finish it. But we'll finish it over on our channel. And we're going to be doing more. And we have recipes. I think I've uploaded like 2,000 things. We have recipes over there. And music. My daughter sings. And I'll put that up and talk about my journey being a mother who raised a special needs child. And so I got a bunch of stuff over there. And no, I don't teach people how to crochet.
Yeah.
I learned kind of offhand, and I think I probably don't know everything there is about it. And I thought I'm probably going to teach everybody how to make all the mistakes in the world.
Yeah. But that's also how you learn. So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Demetria just finished a knitted cowl she was working on. Well, that's good.
Awesome.
Hey, Mama Gwen, welcome in.
Crystal, what's your favorite crochet project to work on?
I would have to say shawls. Even though I don't wear them, I love crocheting shawls.
I realized I was not good at hats, don't enjoy scarves, don't like going in the round, but I really love the bobble stitch blankets and the C2C blankets. I love those. They're my favorite. I don't know why I always seem to crochet large, and so then I don't tend to do hats and scarves very well. I do one pattern and that's it. It's not like I jump for joy to go work on them. We seem to make them too big, and I've tried to reduce the crochet size hook, and I still have a problem. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, hats are kind of odd like that, though. You know, like if I follow somebody else's pattern, it's too big for my head. And what I have found, like the top of your head on the back, if you kind of make the middle of the hat fit just enough around your crown part, that should kind of be snug but not too tight, and it won't be too big. So do you mean me, Mama Gwen? Do I still make clay hooks? Not that often. It hurts my hands quite a bit. I don't make them like I used to. So, I mean, are you wanting some or something?
I've never made a clay hook before. I've seen them, but I've never made them.
I haven't made them in a couple of years, actually. Well, I take that back. I did make one maybe about a year and a half ago, I think. If you want one, just email me. We'll talk about it. I can make maybe one or two right now and it not hurt. No, just curious. Okay.
I find too that, you know, if I need a break from crochet, because I can crochet for a long period of time without my hands hurting. I can't write very long, but I can do a lot of crochet for long periods of time. But if I need a break and I still need to keep myself busy with something, this has been very helpful to have that alternative thing to have. And I can do this for a long period of time and it doesn't hurt my hands. I would recommend, first time I did it, I used my mother's seam ripper that she had from the Singer, back in like, it's probably older, it's older than me. And so I would recommend getting like an one that fits your hand because you're going to be using it a lot.
Yeah.
You even have sparkles on this one. I wouldn't recommend the boxy ones because they'll kill your hands after a while. I did the first time I did it. I was like, it does hurt.
Gwen says, I switch hobbies when I have tired hands. Like when I'm crocheting on this blanket, sometimes like I have to go like halfway around to the halfway point and then I'll take like a 10-minute break, give my hands a second to kind of rest, and then I'll do the other half.
Oh, this is my other alternative project. I can do this for a long period of time without anything hurting. I can't write for nothing for very long without my hands hurting, but
yeah,
because I have carpal tunnel on my hands, but this I can do for quite a while. And not bother me. And I think in today's world, life is just so busy and things are so busy and there's so much going around us. And we've got to find things that we can do that can get our mind off of it. It can be difficult.
Gwen says, I do macrame. I think she says felt, needle felting, dream catchers, make stitch markers, or jewelry. That's a pretty good choice of hobbies there, so that's good.
Fun. I've always been crafty. My mother liked planting out in the garden, and I was like, no, thank you. Have all the dirt. I don't want it. She tried, and I tried to go out there and enjoy it, but I just didn't. It wasn't my jam.
Yeah. I like watching the things grow. I just don't like digging in the dirt, you know, and things like that. I will do it. I'll help my grandmother if she needs something planted. She always puts a garden in, spring and fall. And I have planted different kinds of like peppers and tomatoes and stuff over the last couple of years. I haven't planted much of anything. I don't think I grew anything last year or this year. But my grandmother always says, you have a green thumb. You can plant anything and it grows.
The green thumb skipped a generation because I do not have it. My mother has it. I don't. I think it skipped my daughter too.
Gwen says, we do have a garden and house plants.
Well, we live in an apartment complex, so we don't have that. It's kind of like a house, but it's like a condo, a 2-bedroom condo.
Oh yeah.
We live, my husband and I, and then my mother lives with us because there's days that I need help with stuff, and she can help me, and sometimes she needs help, and so we just come together. And my husband has just said to my dad, who passed in 2001, he said, you know, and he passed away of dementia. He just said, I made a promise to your dad I was going to take care of his girls, and he said, that's what I'm doing. He said, your mother will live with us for as long as she's here. And I'm very, very grateful for that.
Aww.
It's not everybody, I think, can live with their mother-in-law and survive. I have a sweet mama. And a sweet husband, so it works both well in our favor. And everything's so expensive now, it's like we come together to help each other kind of, you know, absorb the cost of rent and, you know, food and all that kind of stuff.
Is that the inside of the ear?
The inside of the ear is the pink, and then the outside of the ear is this kind of literally glitter gold. I figured because we were next to a pattern piece that if I do pattern on pattern, which you could do, you probably wouldn't see it as well.
Yeah.
So, but I have some pattern pieces for, you know, the inside of the cat. This is the outside. I use those pieces because sometimes there's pieces that don't want to go where they're supposed to, but they sometimes will really dig into the foam. So I have to use them with kind of a gentle hand.
Yeah. I had just glanced over at my computer and I'm like, that looks like the inside of the ear.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that is amazing, Gwen. 500 hats. Wow.
Wow.
Is that, did you say that was to donate? Local church this year. Wow.
That's amazing. I couldn't do it. And I
don't
love
think
the
I could
people
either.
that do the amigurumis and all that. I just can't do it.
Kudos to you, Gwen. I could not sit there. It took you 6 months. Wow. I mean, I know they go quick, but dang. I couldn't do that many hats over and over and over. I'd go crazy. That's why I know I couldn't do like a craft fair. About 2 or 3 of the same item in, and I'm just like, I'm ready to do something else now. Well, that's good. It was 3 different patterns.
I can't tell you how many soap caddies I've made. A lot. When my daughter had her baby shower, I made the soap caddies for the favor gifts, and those went really. Everybody loved them. And we'll do them for gender reveals and parties and other stuff. So I should have started the counter with how many soap caddies I did, but I didn't think of that, but I can guarantee you it's probably over 500.
Yeah. Bridget says, that looks like so much fun. I have so many scraps, but I need another craft like I need a new hole in my head.
Pick up your seam ripper. I didn't have anything to do with it. Like I tell people when I cook, if it's not good, don't blame me.
Your taste buds.
Exactly. It's so much fun, and I mean, I could really see people coming together with this and friends sitting around the table and bring scraps and order pizza and just have a ball. Like I said, just took one little thing for my daughter to go, I'm hooked. And I will use glue if I think I've cut the fabric too tight, too close, and I think it may rip or I'm trying to get it to lay down. For the most part, I don't have to do that. But if I think I need to do a little bit, I will just use a little bit of glue. And so you can see the ear happening here and the window.
Gwen, it is what you do is you have this foam and then a pattern goes on it, and then you take fabric, scraps of fabric, and it creates kind of a design. As you can see, like there's the little window. It's going to be a picture of a cat with the yarn ball. There you go. And eventually that's what the finished project will look like.
That's what it's called. Kinasaga. And then just the hardest part is choosing the fabric, and you don't need a ton of fabric to do it either.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is the middle part of it. I want to do.
No, it's not needle felting. What she has in her hand is a seam ripper. And Sally's asking, do you really need to use a seam ripper? Would a metal nail file work? Might
You
be
have
too
to be,
quick,
yeah, you have to be very careful. The seam ripper you're not using this side. You're using, this is what they use in it. You're using the back end of the seam ripper, and that's why I have one that's aerodynamical. I know I said that wrong, but like a crochet hook would, because if you're going to use a fine one, this gets really down into the crevices. And I use these, and we have a whole supply list on our link tree on our channel. These are great for like precisioning the glue, or if you have a little difficult piece, it doesn't want to go where it wants to, but this will literally punch a hole. You have to be very gentle when you use these. But that's what everybody uses with it. And on Facebook, there's a whole group of this art form happening over on Facebook. There's with people and artists and, you know, their crafts and things that go, oh, wow, it looks really cool. And so there's a whole different kind of, you know, there's a whole group over on Facebook. It's called the Kinasaga Corner. And this does help to kind of get underneath sometimes these little pieces. And I usually keep, not that I've already cut this, but I cut it pretty quick today. So sometimes if I feel like I haven't given it the cut it needs, I'll just cut it again. I can tell now I've done it enough. This is like my 4th or 5th one. No, probably my 7th or 8th one. So I'll know by just looking at, that's not cut enough. You're just laying the fabric and you're tucking and you're going on your merry way. I thought, well, there's maybe people that have never seen this, and I thought, well, we'll chit chat, talk, and I'll do this, and then they can see it come to life. Because it's really hard to explain. You're tucking fabric into what? You're using what? Unless you see it coming together, it's hard to explain, you know. Yeah. And everybody that sees it goes, oh my goodness gracious, it's really pretty.
Yeah.
And there's no wrong. It's your design. It's your choice. And there's no way to really... Like my daughter is doing a pizza with polka dot pink and orange. And I'm like, okay. It's your thing. Go ahead and do it. She just did one. We were just talking, and we were at her house, and I said, she showed me the colors, and she knows yellow is like not my favorite color. She's showing me all these colors. She should see the look on my face as she's explaining this. And she just came out, and I said something about a pickle, and she said, yep. I said, looks like a Jamaican flag is what it looked like. And she said, yeah, you're Jamaican me pickle. And I said, well, there's your name for it. And it actually looks really good. I don't know how the pizza with the pink polka dots and the orange is going to be, but oh well. That's her thing. It's her jam. I don't know how it's going to look, but it's not mine. Now I have to do the pickle design. Yeah. So. And you can get these patterns on L.C.T too. We're working on patterns. We're trying to work on simple patterns. I actually have a horse and buggy that I want to take down to the Amish country. We'll probably do a pumpkin for, close to Thanksgiving. I would not start off with something like this your first time out of the box. I'll go with a really simple one. Yeah. Till you get your feet wet. That's only because I've done enough that I can do something like this. Start off simple. That's one thing we're trying to do, is get some simple patterns for everybody to feel comfortable enough to build their skill in it. It doesn't take long.
Sally Stevens says, I threw yarn in your window, Mary. That means she's subscribed.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, we can. From day one, our channel has been about connection. We're all about connection. We say we crochet connection, no crochet hook is required. Another thing that we really, really focus on is, and that's what my shirt says too, is to be proud of being you, because everybody else is taken. There's only one you, nobody else can be you, and we want people to stand tall and proud of themselves, and be able to, just to be proud and unique for who they were designed to be. And so we're not everybody standing tall. We say, you'll hear disco balls talked about on our channel, because there's a saying that says, disco ball is made up of a bunch of broken pieces. I forgot. I hadn't said it for a while. Disco ball is made out of a bunch of pieces of broken glass put together to make a magical ball of light. If you ain't broken, you're a disco ball. And so I say that too.
Thing.
I want to create a safe place for people to come in and talk and chat and connect and find other great channels. And we also have, before we kind of lost our monetization, I was working on Blessing Through Connection, which is our other channel. Mm-hmm. And so we also give shout outs every week or every day. You got a shout out today on both channels. And then on Mondays, we try to do a recap of everybody we've given a shout out to. So they get both channels, and hopefully eventually I'll go back to doing Blessings Through Connection, but I have to focus on getting this channel back up to where it was before everything kind of hit the fan. But that one's just like, we just do a quiet stream and let people come in and connect with each other and meet some amazing channels, and you don't have to be a creator to come in there. But we got to work on this one first. And my daughter will be coming on and doing King of Saga with me, and we'll be chit-chatting. And I've opened it up, and I said, if anybody wants to come on, you do not have to have a channel to do this if you want. If you just want to come on and say, hey, and email us, and just come on and sit with a cup of coffee and chit-chat and talk, I'll have you on while we're doing this. Absolutely. Makes it so much more fun.
Yeah. Just be careful opening it your live like that. You might get some weird ones that.
No, they would have to email us.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
It would have to be a scheduled email back and forth.
Yeah.
No. Because I'm not. I love StreamYard, but I'm not paying StreamYard right now. I can't. And we can't do that. I'm just saying,
I thought you meant like you opened it, like posted the link to join in the chat, and then people came up, and I'm like, yeah, I've had that happen once or twice.
Bless you. That's my husband.
And almost got in trouble. So
no, it would just be if you're interested in coming on and just chit chatting or doing a craft while we're doing this. Email us and we'll schedule, something to happen. But that would be fine. And quite frankly, I've done it where we've done it with YouTube too, where we've had the StreamYard, and we've done the whole thing where we've opened it up, and if I can't see your face and I don't somewhat know you, you're not coming up.
Yeah.
And you hate to be able to do that, but you have to protect yourself.
Yes. That's kind of what I was getting at. I was like, yeah. Oh no.
No. I'm talking about people just emailing me and saying, hey, I'd like to come on while you do that. Let's schedule a time, and then we'll do the YouTube go live together.
Yeah.
I'd like to get back to StreamYard, but I can't pay money for it right now. I wasn't too happy.
I mean, they have, you get 20 hours, I think, free. So.
Well, I think it was when we had it for the year. It wasn't last year, it was the year before. And then when we renewed, it was like, it didn't just go from $250. It went from $250 to $450. And I was like, you really want me to stay with you? And then it wasn't that bad because it was like, okay. And so I didn't do it. And then they had some kind of, couple months later, they had some kind of like special. And I was like, okay, let me check. And they wanted like 400, and I think the renewal was 423, and they were like gonna do, I don't remember, but I'm like, you're only gonna offer me $7 difference, but I've been with you for a year. Yeah, it didn't sit with me too well.
Yeah.
So
I've never had to pay for StreamYard. I never go over the $20, $20, 20-hour, free limit thing. So, but I'm glad you quit paying for that. That's ridiculous.
Well, I didn't mind the $250, and at the time we were doing something that was going to kind of be where we were going to, it's nice to have the feature of being able to have people stream on their channel too.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't going to pay. I wasn't going to pay for. I couldn't pay the $450 for it. That couldn't happen.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if you have fabric that is too, I'm going to I turn this on the back. If I think that the fabric I'm using is a little too thin, and I think I'm going to need to double it, I have very thin white fabric, and I need to get some more. And I'll put that on top of that and see if I think it makes a difference, which I think it does.
Oh, okay.
And I'll use this, even though it says temporary, it works, temporary bond. And
Yeah.
so I sometimes will do this. I'll put it together and I'll say, okay, this is the one with, this is the one with, you know, without and with. And this is brighter with. So some of those fabrics that are very thin lend itself to having to be done this way because it just helps. It's not really the darker ones, it's the lighter ones. And yes, it will stick even though it says temporary. And some people take their little scrap things out and they cut them. I don't. I found that to be more annoying for me, so I don't do that. Some people have taken it and they've taken their little things off and cut around the fabric, and I find out it slows me down faster, so I don't bother with that. The only time I do that is when I kind of have to do this little. So I've seen people use tulle and stuff, and remember it says temporary. I have not had one problem. Where did I put them? I know I can't. I used my little Cricut thing. And then that makes a difference. You can see it better.
Yeah. I would imagine if it's too thin, the background would show through too.
The background will, but this is a great trick. A great little hack. And even though it says temporary, it works. I'd like to get some tulle and try it. I think it would be fun and different avenues for it. This, I got some of the fabric off of Amazon, and it's a little on the thinner side. Some of them, not the darker colors, but the lighter colors, just lend themselves to making sure that you kind of double up the fabric. Fabric crystal.
I was actually trying to think of a keyword, Alley Cat. Thank you. Did you read my mind, Alley Cat Crochet, Kimberly? Maybe you saw me looking at the phone. That's what I was trying to figure out a keyword, and I didn't want to interrupt her since she was talking. So. Oh, hi, Michelle Plays Hooky.
You had told me I was going to work with fabric. I would have said, well, yeah, right.
Have your grands. Oh, enjoy your time with them. All right, so that is going to be our keyword for the entry giveaway, everybody. Fabric. Yeah. Fabric.
Yep, I've got plenty of yarn. Now I'm having to build my stock up with fabric, which I never thought I would have to do.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to build any kind of craft stock as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
As I was finishing a project for my daughter the other day, her first King of Saga project, and I'm like, I need some some silver ribbon to be able to put the frame on because the frame wasn't working. Sure enough, it was in my craft stash. I'm like, see, I didn't think I was going to use this, and it turned out. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was really happy to find it. I was ready to go to bed. And I use this glue if I think if I feel like I just need it. If it got a little close. And
Thank you, Michelle.
I just wouldn't put a lot on it. I don't put a lot in my tray of it because it dries very quickly.
I've used the E6000 before.
Well, they have clear fabric glue. My thing with the clear fabric glue is you won't see where it's gone. And of course, sometimes with this, you tend to kind of get it on darker fabric. But I have a little lid I just use for water. Put water in there and then use one of these things. Put a little water over and it just gets rid of it. But it dries it real quick. I think E6000 would be hard to work with. So anyway, I think the cat's coming across cute. She's already finished her pickle? I don't know if she's finished it, but I'll text her when she finished it. Okay, I'll text her when I'm done. She said she'll text you when she's finished. My daughter's very proud of her pickle. She can't wait to show me. No, actually not. I'm going to use this. Because if you've got that green in the middle, you won't see it if I use that brown. I did a short on our channel that showed the country fabric store. And if you want to talk about big, it's huge. Okay. Well, if we don't get the wires card, we just have to bring Sunday. I'll have to try to remember. Okay. That's fine. And I think in September they're doing some kind of trunk thing, and I'm like, I'm in trouble. Some kind of sale thing going on at their store with all the fabric.
We're up to 10. So if you haven't entered it yet, please enter fabric. We're going to be drawn in about maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Enter fabric. And then you'll all have to come over and we'll have to show you. See this kitty come alive along with other ones we're doing over there. And sometimes we have a beautiful gazebo out where we live. And sometimes I'll go out there, especially when the fall leaves are turning. And so when those start turning, we'll sit out there in my rocking chair. I can't take this out there, but I'll sit with soap caddies or a blanket if I'm working on that. And we'll just sit outside and watch. You'll see over like the month that we're out there, you'll see behind me all the fall leaves starting to turn, which is just so much fun. And it's just so people can come in and just crochet their connection. I had a very good friend of mine who I remember going over to her house, and we were trying to figure out a selfie stick. And we did, and we were laughing. And I got in the car. My daughter was probably in her teens. I got in my car and I started crying. And I said, I should be really happy because we had such a wonderful time. I just remember thinking to myself, I can't remember the last time I cried. You know, I just had fun with a girlfriend on the couch just laughing. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, when they found out I had a special needs child, didn't know how to interact with me or didn't know how to interact with my child. Mm. And I spent a lot of lonely years. And so when we started our channel, we wanted to make sure that people had a safe place to come and just chit chat and talk and connect. And I wanted to be that person for that, you know, for whoever was coming in our chat. So we try to do.
Hi, Mateo. Welcome in.
Hey, everybody coming in.
All right, we got 13.
13's a lucky number. My daughter had and for those that are not sitting, I'd probably recommend you sitting down when I'm about ready to say this number. But we're getting my daughter a service dog that cost $15,000, and now they cost about $20,000 to $25,000. It's autism service dog. Wow. And he came home to be with us permanently on the 13th of the month. And so that's a lucky number for us. Wow. That's when her life started changing. Jordan was an amazing black lab service dog. Oh, he was just the best. 24 hours from being euthanized, and he was rescued to be a service animal. He was amazing.
Aww. That's wonderful. I always love hearing when animals get saved from that kind of situation.
Well, they found out that a lot of times those children with autism have a very hard time sleeping independently. Mm-hmm. So my daughter was probably in her 11, 12, something like that. And we were still struggling with the fact that she was really struggling sleeping independently. And so it took about a year for Jordan and Christina to get in the swing of things. But first night she said, okay, Mom, good night. She was about 13. And she went to bed by herself. I was like, oh my goodness. It was like, or she would go out and say, I'm going for a walk by myself. She was 13, 14, 13 at the time. Mm-hmm. It was amazing to see the transformation that dog did in my daughter. She wouldn't be where she was without that dog. 7 years of wonderful service for her. I remember being on her bed, and my daughter, I'd left a space between the back of the headboard and myself, not intentional. Mm-hmm. And that dog just came up and sat between us, and then stood up about 5 minutes later and came around my back and just was like, Mama, I got your back. I got this. That was it. It was amazing. And she got him, and then shortly after that was diagnosed with diabetes. And there was one night that she was going into a low, and he woke her up because she was crashing. And he was not trained to be a diabetic service dog, but he did it. He woke her up out of the crash, and he did it for my husband, even though he wasn't trained for it. They're amazing animals.
I always think, somehow, some way, cats and dogs, and they can sense that kind of thing,
You just gotta settle down. She was crushing.
All right, we got 14 now.
I want to get my husband. One of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing too is eventually I'd like to get my husband a diabetic service dog. But we have a Staffordshire Bull Terrier that we rescued that was abused before we got her. And so I'm very afraid that if we tried to rehome her and it didn't work, that if we did, she would just be a revolving door because not a lot of people would understand that she's just scared. And I would be too. If I was held by the collar and choked by neighborhood kids, thought it was funny, and then hit the next home I went in, I'd be the same way with strangers.
Yeah.
But Mocha is very much of an emotional support dog. She helps me through pain. She's helped Christina. And but if we get him a dog down the road, it has to be a privately done dog because a lot of places that are funded, they require you to have one dog in the house. And it'll have to be somebody that comes in and works with Mocha and works with the other dog to make it work. But that's about a $25,000 cost.
Wow.
Eventually. Who knows? Mocha would not make a good service dog at all. I will also go on anybody's channel and talk about service animals and my experience and knowledge that I have and so forth. And we would like to get to the point on our channel where we have a little kitty where if somebody's trying to raise funds for a service animal, we could help fund that a little bit from our community. So I would really like to do that because I know how hard it was to sit there and raise the $15,000 it took for my daughter. But that dog was life changing.
Yeah.
Please be careful if you're going for a service dog. Research them, please. We raised $2,000 for my husband and my daughter's service dog, and agency we went through went into bankruptcy, and the guy stole the money. So please be careful. We got about $130 back. And there were parents that raised $25,000 and didn't get a dog.
That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. He should be in prison.
Uh-huh.
And he's not. Because what he was doing was he had another company, so he'd rent equipment and everything from Service Dogs by Warren Retrievers and send them over to the other company. And then when they came after him, he had nothing left because it was on the other company that wasn't owned by him. It was owned by his partner.
All right, we are going to start drawing for the entry giveaway. So good luck, everybody. Here we go. There was 14.
Let's go.
Sally, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next, good luck. PamelaHunter, congratulations. All right, next, good luck. Angela, right? Congratulations. Next, good luck. DeniseLee. Congrats. All right, 2 more. Good luck. Thought that was okay. Karen JSP, congrats. All right, and the last one for today.
Congratulations.
Demetra, the Naked Snail. All right, congrats everybody. We didn't hit the goal, so no extras today, but I am going to put Blessed2Crochet's link again in the description. I think I still, let me open the link just in case.
It's got an eye.
I just pasted instead of copy.
It's got a personality now. We gave it an eye. Oh, it's coming across so cute.
Aww.
I love seeing this come to life. It's just so much fun. Oh. And I'll put like a little white, you know, dot in the middle of the eye. You can use like that, the fabric paint that like has a blow up, or I can't think of what it's called now.
In the dark?
No, it's like the textured fabric paint.
Oh.
Or
yeah.
you could take just a little acrylic paint and just go dab, or a little paint marker and put it there. But I had to give it a personality and give it an eye, and there's the nose. It's coming across cute. My daughter and I are going to work on our dog mocha. I've got one that I'm going to be doing. I can guarantee you they're going to look totally different.
Yeah.
But it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, if y'all are not subscribed to her channel, I did just put it in the chat. It's also in the description box. Thank y'all so much for being here with us today. And if you're interested in seeing more, she has more on her channel. And puff paint, like the puffy paint.
Yeah, that's it. Puff paint. You can use puff paint if you wanted to. Or if you wanted to give it a little sparkle, you get a little rhinestone.
Yeah.
Put it there. And I can't, the blessings that have come out of doing this and finding this. I will always love crochet, but the person that taught me how to crochet is also somebody that, through their own choices, has chosen that they just like to be out of our family's life right now. And it's really hard. Sometimes I'll crochet and I'll think of that person because we used to cut patterns and all that kind of stuff. But there has been nothing but blessings through this. And I'm just excited to see my daughter loving this. And this is helping her, and it's helping our relationship. And there goes Mocha. We have got cement trucks out there fixing the sidewalk and the roadway. We've got mowing today, and she's very protective. She's a sweetheart. She likes when I crochet on the couch, and then she'll sit with me and cuddle under the blanket. So, got to give them a little bit of personality before we get off here. There's the hive. And that was fabric. And if you're thinking, I don't know where to get fabric from, go to your local. Oops, wait, hold on. What happened? Wait, hold it. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I changed it around. Can you see me or no?
I see you.
Okay.
I think it's like, oh, there.
You know what happened?
I think you froze.
I freeze. And you can still hear me. We just can't see me anymore.
You're frozen, but I can hear you just fine.
I'll put that up for right now because I can't for some reason. But I didn't even know what I was talking about because I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to flip it around, and then it's like, oh, well. I don't know what happened. It's okay. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. But we'll continue to work on it over on our channel. And I'm excited to see this little cat come to life, as I am any of the pictures that I've been doing. And I just hope I can inspire people to start creating and crafting and connecting and making friends and doing all that kind of stuff. Being proud of who you are.
Oh, yes. It was about finding fabric.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. If you're thinking, where can I find fabric? Go on to the book face and just go into your community groups. Because I was thinking, okay, I've got to start this. I have a passion for this. I got to do this. I'm not somebody that has a lot of fabric, so where can I go? And I got a whole bag of fabric from somebody within our community that had scraps of fabric. So if you're sitting there thinking, I don't have fabric, where do I go? Start there first. Because there could be a quilter that has some fabric. They're not going to do this, but they would be glad to give you fabric. Or there may be, somebody in your family that's a quilter that would send you scraps. Yeah. Start there first, and then go build your supply. Go to Amazon. You can get fabric there. It's not going to be the greatest fabric, but it's going to get you started. And start simple. Don't start with one like this. Well, it's too much for a person that's never done this before. But,
yeah, it's too detailed.
Yeah, but it's only because I think I'm on my 5th or 6th or 7th, or I've lost count.
Alrighty, everyone. I'm going to drop her link once more before we go. So if you have not yet, go check out her channel. Greatly appreciate y'all coming in today and taking the time to sit and watch her craft. And again, it was called Kinu
Saga.
Yeah. I even looked it up on how to pronounce it. I couldn't even remember.
It's
but I know
KINUSAIGA.
Yeah.
So. And if you pick up a seam ripper and you get addicted, it's not my fault.
Alrighty, everyone. We hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, stay safe, and we will see y'all later. Bye for now.
I'm waving. Bye-bye, everybody.